protected cultivation, so I need not to say something. We actually partially or fully control the environmental conditions in case of protected cultivation. There are fully automatic protected cultivation is all available, semi-automatic protected cultivation is available, and naturally ventilated polyhouses where we have certain limited control are available. Next please. This is, we all know the commercial cultivation of flowers, vegetables inside polyhouses. The cash crops are there. So there is a requirement of to know the temperature, maximum minimum temperature, the radiation, and the other climatic data. Because we all know the crop water requirement will be the key. It will be required. Then how much sunlight is entering, the temperature. These are all key for the development of the crop. We need to know, the biological scientist will be better equipped to know this, that the insect pest development is related to the temperature. Even the pollination is related to the your condition of the polyhouses. So that's why this study has been taken up. The study was done at G.B. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. 2 polyhouses were selected. One was double span naturally ventilated polyhouse. The other was the walking tunnel polyhouse. And the climatic temperature, solar radiation were measured at 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. These were the 2 polyhouses. Extreme right was the double span, and the left one is the walking tunnel type. Previously measurements were taken up. You can see the daily variation of maximum and minimum temperature in these 2 type of polyhouse. You can see that the temperature has gone up to 40 degrees centigrade in the walking tunnel type, whereas it is around 32 to 33 degree in case of double span polyhouse. What it suggests actually, it suggests that there is urgent need of ventilation. You need to ventilate your polyhouses, naturally ventilated polyhouses, in the early stage of the winter crop and in the flag end of the winter crop. In both the time, the temperature is quite high, so ventilation is required. And in the middle stages, if you will see in the month of January, last end of December to end of January, there is a decline in the minimum temperature. 3 to 4 degree minimum temperature is there. So but what the polyhouse is helping, it is increasing the 3 to 4 degrees centigrade minimum temperature in case of double span and 5 to 6 degree in case of walking tunnel type. But here what you need to increase the photo period of the crop by using several mechanisms which are cheaper, like CFLs, bulbs, light, all that, so that you can increase the photo length of the crop as well as the temperature of the polyhouses. Because we all know the photosynthesis is greatly affected if the temperature is beyond below 10 degrees centigrade and above 20 to 22 degrees centigrade. The enzymes which are responsible for photosynthesis of the crop becomes inactive below that temperature. So you need to have information, correct information, what to do, when to ventilate and when to warm your polyhouses. So these are the average minimum temperature in different time segments. We can see that the minimum temperature is declining up to the January, and then again it is going up. There is an advantage of 3 to 4 degree in case of double span and 5 to 6 degree in case of walking tunnel type. Similarly, the maximum temperature, this is suggesting even the temperature difference is about 8 to 10 degrees centigrade. So it needs ventilation is required. You need to ventilate your polyhouses. These are results. I am not going to read it out. We all have discussed. You can see the daily variation in solar intensity at around 2 p.m. in the double span and the walking tunnel. In open condition, the radiation was maximum, followed by walking tunnel, followed by double span. Out of the total solar radiation, 70%, almost 70% of the solar radiation was received in case of walking tunnel, and around 50% of the solar radiation was received in case of double span polyhouses. So you can very well see that the radiation is quite low in case of the Shambhar. You can see here the radiation is quite low, and you need to increase the photo period by introducing the artificial means of increasing the photo period during this period. And here you need to do some opaque kind of things on the polyhouses so that you can reduce the sunlight, you can reduce the solar intensity during this peak period, and in the case of January you can increase the photo period. Again, this is the in different time segments I have divided. You can see the solar intensity is almost half in case of January here. You can see that it is half. You can see here that it is almost half of the total radiation which is received in case of October and April. So here the solar radiation is quite low and it is only receiving 70% and 50%. So you need to take care during this period, and in the month of January, because the capsicum was planted during that period, and capsicum for the crop, capsicum crop, this is the peak flowering and fruiting time, so you need to be careful. So the conclusions are the maximum minimum temperature were observed higher in walking tunnel, followed by naturally ventilated polyhouses, followed by double span, and the solar radiation was almost 70.58% in case of walking tunnel and 50.86% in case of double span naturally ventilated polyhouse conditions. And this one I wanted to say, our university has developed this floating solar photovoltaic pumping system for pumping irrigation water through rivers in case of Diara and Dhab area. We have developed this floating solar voltaic pumping system. One submersible pump is immersed in the water, and through this two HP pump can be operated through this, and the Ara and Dhab land, even sprinkler can be operated through this. I wanted to share this experience with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ravish Chandra. If special queries from